The Story of Rhode Island by Ronnie Finger. Rhode Island was a colony that really stood out from the rest. Though it is small in size, it was one of the very first important establishments, through believing in the absolute separation of church and state. Rhode Island was founded by a man who strongly supported these policies. His name was Roger Williams, but for the sake of animation, he shall be shown as this cheeseburger. Another important person that helped make Rhode Island what it is today was a woman with the name of Anne Hutchinson, and she shall be shown as a Rubik's Cube. Before Rhode Island, there were 5 other colonies that had already been established. Those were Virginia, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maryland, and Connecticut. Many of these were established for economic gain, which could be brought about by the growing of various crops. Another reason for establishment, and probably the biggest and single most important, was religious freedom. On November 11, 1620, the group of Puritans known as the Pilgrims landed in America and established the colony known as Plymouth, which was created for property ownership and religious freedom. Though they were known for having the very first Thanksgiving, they were also the first to actually create a constitutional government in the New World. They did this by contracting the Mayflower Compact, which was a document that explained how the government was going to be run and who the chosen leader was going to be. Though they had great plans, more than half of them died out in the harsh winter soon after they arrived. But by the year 1640, the colony had more than 3,000 settlers. The Massachusetts Bay Colony was established by a businessman by the name of John Winthrop. He shall be shown as a DVD for Back to the Future. A governor, council, and assembly made up the representative type of political system that was established. With Winthrop being the first governor, he established Puritanism as a state-sponsored religion and limited who could hold office, which were only men that went to church. The people here were not tolerant of other religions, which left people converting to Puritanism or fleeing the colony. But before Plymouth was absorbed into it, a clergyman from England by the name of Roger Williams came to Massachusetts in the year 1631 and became a pastor there. He believed in the absolute separation of church and state, where the set-up government in Massachusetts believed that the Bible and law were one. The church was the state. Because he was against it, and everyone knew he was against it, he was soon banished from the colony on account of speaking about new authority magistrates. After his banishment, he went out on his own to new lands, and for a short period of time lived with peaceful Native American tribes up until the year 1636, which by that point in time he had established a settlement known to be called Providence, which would later expand into the colony of Rhode Island itself. In 1644, he sailed back to England to get a corporate land charter that gave him full authority of the land from Parliament in order to make a settlement into an accepted colony. Anne Hutchinson was born on July 20th, 1591, and just like Roger Williams, her entire family and herself went to the New World and lived in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. This regarding the oppressiveness of the Puritan religion there, and had meetings that occurred on a weekly basis that went over and talked about religion, whether if it were about the church going on there or their own religious beliefs. This was soon found out, and because of that, she too was banished to Rhode Island. Roger Williams and Anne Hutchinson are the two core people for founding and defining what Rhode Island means. not just to them, but to an entire community of people. Since its first establishment, Rhode Island had grown by over 5,000 people by the year 1710, and still growing to support those beliefs. Thank you.